its own internet, which is called Web TV. So you could get a keyboard and a little mini game and a little Game Boy. So let's use an example. Let's say that there's a game that has a character that has little tiny characters that you can upgrade. A little bit like Pokemon, let's just use like that sort of metaphor. Well, you could take this out and you can clearly bring it anywhere, and you can continue playing that little mini game and upgrade the little creature. So then when you plug it back into your controller, it's there. And this is where Sega, it is totally genius. I know to some people it may seem like a gimmick, but this really is like true innovation. It's a really nice concept, it does work, it works well. There's also its own little network called SegaNet, where you can play online with friends at the time, and it has its own internet, which is called Web TV. So you could get a keyboard and a mouse and you're good to go. You could hook up a modem, and yeah, I mean, the Xbox and the Dreamcast seem to be very interested in online play. So I'm pretty sure someone's saying, why did you leave the GameCube out of this list? And that's because there isn't really any like huge features. I thought I would leave it for the last because it's like so easy to talk about. And I know that now a ton of Nintendo fans are going to be like, oh my god, you hate the GameCube. I don't. And if you still don't believe me, what if I told you that this was actually my first console and I actually do enjoy it, so chill out. I think the GameCube's main features was that it's more of a simple console. It's portable, it's small, it's sleek. Clearly with the handlebar, Nintendo was intending that this would be something that you can take around. And for some of you that don't know, the Nintendo Switch was actually something that was planned since the GameCube. Clearly not with the same features, but a portable hybrid console was something that they were still thinking of at that time. Clearly they didn't work on that because the technology was not there, the technology was like young and stuff, so it was scrapped. But you can see where Nintendo was trying step by step to get there with the size of their consoles shrinking so tiny. The other thing about the GameCube that other consoles can't do is that it has those Nintendo first-party games, and that's what Nintendo's been trying to fight this whole time, that sometimes power and graphics are not always the most important detail, and that sometimes the games themselves are. And Nintendo is lucky that they have very fun games, because they do. I'm pretty sure people who have owned a GameCube mostly remember it for Mario Sunshine, Smash Bros, those types of games that you cannot get on a PS2 or any other console. I mean, clearly now you could probably just download it on a CD and do all of your crazy, easy hacks, but that was not like Nintendo's intention. The GameCube was also the cheapest of the bunch, only being $200, so Nintendo was trying to tailor more to the people who weren't really willing to pay $100 extra, and it seems to work out pretty well for them. The sales are fair, they're not like extremely bad, but they're not like great, they're just like okay. They made profit, but they didn't like make it rain like with the Wii or the NES or SNES. It's pretty obvious who takes the cake for both the PS2 and the Xbox. It was clearly GTA. Like, all three, Vice City 3, and also San Andreas, just stole the show. I mean, they're the best-selling games on the consoles, clearly, and they're one of the most loved GTAs, so yeah, these are true success. Of course, something like Halo was also a massive success on the Xbox. People love the co-op, the story, and some honorable mentions for both consoles. It has to be, like, Call of Duty. It wasn't really a big thing. Same with Battlefield. These were the good days, guys. These were the old-time war stuff. And then there is the good Star Wars Battlefront. So like I said, the best-selling GameCube games were the first-party ones, the ones that we see nowadays. Smash Bros, Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda. The Dreamcast has its own nice selection of games. For the most part, people actually liked Sega's first-party games like Sonic Adventure, Crazy Taxi, NBA 2K1. But then there were some other ones like Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, and somehow Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I never really played a Tony Hawk skating game on like any console. But yeah, Sonic Adventure seems to be like one of the most addicting ones. I remember a childhood full of arcade, like playing Crazy Taxi, you know, going to the arcades, seeing that a lot. It was fun. This console war killed a veteran. There's no pointing fingers because it's just business. It happens. This is basically nature. You can't just like say, oh my god, that tiger's an asshole for killing that zebra. That's nature. That's how things are. It is what it is. So unfortunately for Sega, the Dreamcast did not sell very well. It had absolutely nothing to do with the console. The console was doing everything right. It may have not had every single popular game like GTA, but it still had some third-party games that were amazing. There was absolutely like no complaints that I would have personally. It was just at the wrong time, at the wrong place. So you may be asking yourself, why didn't Sega like try one more time or just fight till the end? And the thing is that they know that there's no chance. Like, everyone assumed the PlayStation is gonna like be the supremacist, every console is gonna die, PlayStation's just gonna take over the whole market, be a one-man army, basically. Well, that's what some people thought, not everyone. But Sega also poured in $100 million into marketing the Dreamcast. So you may be saying, oh, well, maybe this is just some normal fees. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be. That's the normal price. It just seems like a lot because you have to put on TV and radio and newspapers and magazines. But here's the thing. With $100 million, you could actually build Disneyland. So, yeah, $100 million is a lot of money, and if you pour $100 million into a product that only 9 million people buy, and 155 million people buy your competitor's product, I think that any logical person with a brain would probably be like, you know what, I think that we're not going to be successful the next time if this time we lost money, and we poured in a lot of money into marketing this thing. So the problem is not that they didn't market it well, they marketed it like a lot. Like what you would see with the Switch, that's basically what they did. They marketed it like that, and it didn't work. And that's where the issue comes in. It's not that the marketing was bad. People didn't want it. It was not because of the features. It's because someone else did it better. And unfortunately, I wish that Sega still made consoles because I bet that they would make a ton of cool features, but that's not really how things are. And I don't want to throw Nintendo under here because I'm a big Nintendo fan, but I sort of feel it's Nintendo's fault. Like, if they just teamed up with Sony, there would be no Xbox, and